Thanks, Butch. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask a couple coaches to say a few words, and quite frankly, it's a difficult selection to pick a few because everybody in this room is certainly worthy. But the one thing that's really made this event, I think, not only continue but grow and really be able to celebrate and showcase such great programs is you got to have a willingness of coaches. As Kerry mentioned, with the playoff system, it's not easy. It's not easy risking, essentially, what a lot of coaches do. Now, I always take the approach of, hey, if you get on this center stage and win, you're probably headed to the playoffs. But that's still not an easy call for me to make. I'd like to ask one coach first in particular to come up, and this guy's been unbelievable. Last year, Winton Woods went through a very difficult time, on and off the field. They had a levy up, and fortunately it passed, which is obviously good for any school district today. And during that time, they were also trying to win the school's first state football championship, which they did. And this is a guy, Troy Everhart, the coach in Winton Woods, who in the last 4 years, actually 5 years, well this year he'll do it, in succession, he will have played every team in the GCL South Division, which to me is the best division of high school football probably anywhere in the country. He's played all of those. He's a Division II school. And he's a guy that honestly I should just send out to recruit teams to play in this event, and I should send Troy. How many guys would do this? 12:35 a.m. the morning after, so obviously just after midnight, they won a state championship. I get a text message to my phone, and it says the following. Once again, a team that started in the showdown is a state champ. In all caps, thanks. That's from Troy. Troy, come up and say a few words. Troy Everhart, defending Division II Ohio State champ.
It's interesting. You're coming back from Massillon, and it's that 12-hour trip on the way from that neutral site for all of us Southwest. I get it. You were bold. It's okay. And we hadn't even got out of Massillon yet. But I was just thinking of all the people and of all the things other than our players. We've got great players. Two of them are down here at UC. Can't say enough about Malik and Chris and what they feel about the coaching staff right now. But other than my athletic director, who's been tremendously supportive of us, of a young coach. Tom Gamble and this opportunity have meant everything for us as a program. And all I can tell you is that, we're at D2 now, so it's a little bit easier. But when we got into this and played Elder, they were coming off their first state title. And Doug was gracious enough to only put 35 on us the first time we played. So hopefully he'll remember that this year. But we're tremendously excited for the opportunity. And your program only gets better because of it. Now, I'll just tell you this. If you take the time to talk to your kids like we do, we sit down and have long conversations with our kids, they want to be in this thing. And it makes you a better coach. We're better prepared. Our coaches are better. We coach harder. You look around this room, if you're in my standpoint, you got tremendous coaches with state titles. Steve just wrote a tremendous article in the Journal this past, maybe a month ago. Just a great job. And we've got to find a way for guys like Tommy Bolden to be rewarded for playing X and Elder in the same season. We've got to find a way for that to happen. But we cannot back down from this challenge. And again, we appreciate everything of being an opportunity here. Thank you.
I'm going to run through the schedule quickly in a minute, but I want to ask one other guy to come up. One thing that we've managed to do this year that I'm most proud of, we've never had a year where we have had that representation. Tri-state area, obviously, Greater Cincinnati, Greater Dayton, Northern Kentucky, and for the very first time, a team East Central from Southeastern Indiana, which I'm thrilled to have all of the Tri-State participating. We're doing something that we've never done before either, and we're going to have a special night, a double dip, that actually will start on August the 20th, Friday night. It's a Northern Kentucky night, and we had this opportunity in Northern Kentucky, and if anybody who follows the schedules, they're kind of strange. Week 0, they can actually play games. I don't know why the hell there is a week 0, but there is, and they can play games on that week. But nonetheless, so we figured, there are games that weekend. Let's do a Northern Kentucky night in the Skyline Crosstown Showdown. So we are. We've got a great doubleheader. Dixie Heights against Newport Central Catholic, followed by Covington Catholic against Ryland. I'd like to ask Dave Worth, who's the head coach at Covcat, but also previously was part of the showdown and was on the staff at Moeller High School. I'd like to ask Dave to say a few words. Dave?
I appreciate the kind sentiments. It's a great opportunity to be in the Showdown again. Covcat hasn't been in the Showdown for a year or two, and I know that traditionally Covington Catholic had always been in the Showdown. When I was coaching for Coach Ray a number of years ago, prior to my experience at Baden, we had a game down here right after a Moeller-Anderson game, where Anderson upset Moeller. And I remember standing at the top of the steps over here, looking down and seeing that game happen, and kind of having mixed emotions with having gone to Moeller and having coached there, and still trying to keep my focus on playing Say Next, and what an experience that was. But it's the greatest event in town. It's first class. It's well run. They treat the kids like $1 million, and they should, because we're all very lucky. We have great kids in our programs that deserve the limelight. And so we're very appreciative of all the groups that sponsor the event and make it possible. Tom had mentioned the week 0 thing. That's a lot of fun, especially in a transition year when you're playing a great team like Ryle last year. We're excited to be in it, playing them again. I know the game before us is going to be a doozy as well. Coach Evison is in the shoes that I was in a number of years ago when I took over for Terry Malone in Baden. I know that's not easy, but I know he's going to do a great job. Dixie's a great team. That's going to be a great game. And I certainly know that Ryle is going to be one of, if not the best teams in all of Kentucky next year. Very loaded, very well coached, very tough, very disciplined. So we have our work cut out for us. And it's also special for me, just on a personal level, having started as a young assistant at Moeller and been in some of these early showdowns that you had mentioned, and to have life kind of come full circle and do the assistant thing at Moeller and to do the assistant thing at Covcath under Coach Ray, which was wonderful, and then to come back here as a head coach at Covcath and have the opportunity to give it a go myself. So we're looking forward to it. I agree with Troy's comments in the paperwork here before that the kids cherish this event. I think all the kids in the tri-state want to be a part of it. So our kids are fortunate. I know we as coaches are fortunate, and we're looking forward to another great one. Thanks.
Thanks, Dave. I appreciate it. And you made a couple references to Coach Ray, and I'd like to say hello to Coach Lynn Ray, who was 5 for 5 in state championship games at Covcat. That's pretty impressive. And this is what's great about high school football. Lynn decided that he was going to go play a little golf, which I think he plays a lot of, quite frankly. And now he's been kind enough to come back and join the staff at Covcast. So glad to have that. Glad to have the Northern Kentucky night. If I could, I'd like to take a minute. There are some of our other partners in attendance today. And again, I can't tell you from putting on an event like this the critical nature of having partners who are willing to, commit to something like this. They're committed to the communities. They're committed to this event. And I'd like to recognize we've had for more than 10 years, we've had the same 2 presenting sponsors, Meyer and Dr. Pepper. I think Jerry Herzenberg. Jerry, raise your hand if you would, please. Jerry's the store director of the Harrison Dent Meyer store. He's been kind of the local marketing guy from Meyer's perspective. Does a great job, and this is what's great about it, is an Elder grad, but yet recognizes all those schools that shopped at his store, and that's what's beautiful about this place, is that people live here, and they love living here. Dr. Pepper, John Schultes normally is here. He was up in Indianapolis on business today, but I believe Don Schroeder, where are you, Don? Hello, Don. There's Don right over there. Don, thank you for Dr. Pepper's support. Also, West Banco Bank, they've been in it from almost the outset. Dave Donaldson, the president, Jennifer Rogers right here. They do a great job, very proactive, have done some cool promotions. We appreciate their support. Also, Grange Insurance and Wellington Orthopedic, they are not represented here today. They couldn't make it. But Kentucky Speedway, that's right. We're going to combo a little high school football, a little auto racing. Mike Schmaltz and Chris Reiner, new partners this year. He's clapping for himself, so I don't know what that means. But nonetheless, we're very pleased to have Kentucky Speedway. And I got to tell you, the media in this town, the television stations and the Inquirer, Cincinnati.com, I don't know about you, but pick up the Inquirer this morning, and Mike Dyer had a piece that said, "Are you ready for football?" And I thought to myself, that's what this town's all about, and that's why we're very glad to continue to put this event on. If I could just run through the schedule real quick, and I know we've already touched on the Northern Kentucky night, but I think this is the best scheduled top.